The nature of the spiritual path in many ways is a complete shift from the conventional surface way of seeing ourselves as separate entities, either in control of life or a victim of life. And so when we see as the separate individual that we think ourselves to be, when we see life, we either see it in one of those two ways. So in many ways, life is either going for us or life is going against us. Because it's all about being self-centered. The self is the only important thing in the world. And as soon as we start going deeper into what we call the spiritual journey, but actually in many ways it's just the journey to go deeper into one's existence and to ask questions about the nature of one's existence and the existence of mind and what it is to be human. But as we go deeper, there's a profound invitation that comes along, and that is to reframe that relationship that we have with life itself, and to, at some point in a way, stop seeing ourselves as either controlling life or being a victim of life. So for these two ideas or principles or philosophies or ways of being in the world to pretty much collapse. And that comes as a consequence of realizing that the self is a fiction in many ways, an imagination. It comes as a consequence of realizing that consciousness is all there is. It comes as a consequence of realizing that all is one. And if all is one, then how can I, seek, be the one to either seek to control life like this, or else, when that doesn't work, to see myself as a victim of life. And this is a collapse. But we don't have to wait until awakening, enlightenment or that realization happens. We can actually start to do that now by reframing, by re-looking at how we relate to experience, and to ask ourselves the deep question, are we trying to control life? And do we feel like we're a victim of life? And that presupposes, in many ways, both of those presuppose that life is got an inherent quality of being almost against me. I have to fight. I have to fight to control life. Otherwise, it's going to go against me, and I don't want to be the victim. That's what I'm trying to avoid at all costs. And yet, in that way of thinking, being a victim is unavoidable, conscious or unconscious. So to actually, what I'm talking about here is an invitation to completely throw that idea away and engage in a much deeper philosophy or understanding or invitation, and to see that as soon as we start to realize, as soon as there's a deeper sense of awareness that actually this is not the whole picture, that there's something much deeper to life, then all of life becomes an invitation. All of life starts to become an inquiry. All of our experience, whether it's here or there, traveling, in relationship, with family, with body, whatever it is, becomes an invitation to ask the most profound questions of ourselves about hanging on, about control, about self-worth, about being the victim, about seeing life as either some thing that we can't control but we want to control, or how do we have an innate fear of life? Are we terrified of our impermanence, so we need to control? Have we made a mess of our lives? What about our upbringing and our parents and the abuse and the shrinkage, that we've gone through? All of these questions become invitations to know ourselves on an ever deeper level, to see what stands in the way of a deeper and deeper acceptance and a deeper and deeper love of ourselves. Because ultimately, with my eyes, I've seen that actually life, would we but accept it, is an invitation to love. It's an invitation not just to love others in some superficial way, and neither to just seek to gain love from others in a way that satisfies the personality, which can never be ultimately satisfied by anything that this world has to offer, but actually to fall deeper and deeper and to see that life itself is the invitation to love itself. Because that's all there is. Ultimately, that's all there is. And so that's the ultimate invitation, and that's an invitation not to discover love, but to discover what stands in the way. What are the veils that we've assumed to be true? The need to control, the tendency to feel like a victim when the control doesn't work, the capacity that we have to self-negate, the capacity that we have to see life somehow as against us. And to take all of these as not as things that happen to us, but as deeper invitations to see what stands in the way of this deeper and deeper surrender on a certain level, deepest acceptance on a certain level. This becomes a profound invitation to fall deeper and deeper and deeper inside, and to ask ourselves, and to ask ourselves deeply who we are.